Alrighty guys, I'm Casey and welcome to a brand new episode of the Minecraft tutorial series. The series where I'm guiding you through a game called Minecraft. Last episode I taught you how to set up your first world, how to move around and interact with your world, and how to craft basic tools. And I left you with the task of getting yourself a stack of oak logs or any logs of your choosing, and a stack of cobblestone, and as you can see I've done just that. Now while doing this you will have noticed a few things and we're going to go over those. So today guys we are going to look at how to upgrade our wooden tools into stone tools, how to build a structure so that we can survive through the night safely, how to store our items in a chest, and how and what the use of a furnace is. Oh, the wandering trader has turned up. He's a subject for a tutorial a little bit later on, but since he's here, I'll give you a brief one. You can right click him to trade with him. However, he requires us to have something called emeralds, and we don't have them yet. We can get access to these fairly soon, but not quite yet. So we're not going to worry too much about what he has, but just in case he appears in your world, at least you know what he's about. So you may have noticed when going and doing the task that I gave you, chopping down your trees and mining yourself some stone, that your tools, they broke, and that you have this bar at the bottom here. It starts out green, it goes to yellow, and then to red. And what does that bar mean? Well, tools within Minecraft, they have durability and they will break after so many uses. The wooden tools themselves have only 59 durability, meaning that we can mine 59 blocks with the tool before it will break. And as you can see, I've got an axe here that's nearly broken, a axe that's half damaged, and a pickaxe that isn't really badly damaged. And we can see how badly damaged they are, but this doesn't tell us exactly how much is left on our tools. Now, as we upgrade these tools, the durability will grow on them. But because these are wooden tools, they have low durability. But I'm going to teach you how you can see the actual durability left on these. How much do these have left on them in an exact number as opposed to a bar? And this is super easy. But for this, I'm going to have to teach you a bit of an advanced control, a brand new control to the game. If we press the F3 button on our keyboard, you can see this menu here. And this is kind of like the technical menu of Minecraft. It will show you various things, and there's a lot to learn here, and we're not going to go over everything in here. We will talk about these as we progress through Minecraft, but the reason that I wanted to show you this is because we need to use the F3 button to go ahead and show us our durability. So if we were to press the F3 button, hold it down and press H, you can see that now that debug menu has popped up, advanced tooltips shown, and what that allows us to do is have a look at our pickaxes, our axes, and our rest of our tools and see the durability below. You can see now that we got 52 out of 59 on all of these, and you can see this one, I only can mine 3 more blocks and that's going to break. So I put that on the side. Now, this will break and disappear if we were to use it. I'm going to keep this because I always like to keep my first wooden tool that I make. And in this series, I thought I'd keep one of each. There is 2 things that we can do when our durability runs out or runs low. The first one is to simply craft up a new tool. So we craft ourselves a new axe. And we are sorted. Brilliant. However, if we were to take 2 damaged axes and put them in the crafting window, and this could be in the 2x2 or the crafting table in the background there, we'll get that fixed. And this gives us a little bit more durability than putting these 2 together. So if we took 34 and 3, that'd make 37, but we're actually getting 39. You get a 5% bonus if you were to do this. So it's really good if you get low tools to just sort of put them together. So I'm going to repair my axe like so. Now, wooden tools are great, but we want to look at upgrading our wooden tools. We don't want to be stuck with wooden tools forever. We eventually want to be able to change the difficulty and get onto easy. That's the primary goal of this episode, is to get onto easy. And to do that, well, we need to work a little bit more harder than what we've been working and advance a little bit more down the progression tree. So let's have a look at upgrading our tools. Now, there isn't a way to specifically just upgrade the tool. We can't take a wooden sword and do something with this to upgrade it. That's not how upgrading works in Minecraft. In fact, I shouldn't be using the word upgrading at all, because it's not upgrading. What we do is we craft new tools. So if we just go ahead, I'm just going to make myself some planks here. If we go ahead and we make up a wooden sword, this recipe, or at least this shape of the recipe, does not change throughout the rest of the game. We will always use this same style of recipe to craft a sword. The only thing that changes are the resources that we use. So wooden is the lowest tier of tool, and the next tier up is one that we can go to now, and that is stone tools. So if we were to replace the wood with cobblestone, then we'll get ourselves a stone sword. Now you can get different kinds of stone, but only cobblestone will work to craft the tools. So let's go ahead and upgrade our tools. So I'm going to just split this down a little bit. I'm going to grab myself an axe. I'm going to grab myself a pickaxe. Let's see if I can actually craft one. And I'm going to get myself a shovel. Now, if we look at these aren't going to show us our durability just yet, because it doesn't show durability for full tools. And we also get the advancement getting an upgrade. But if we were to mine a block with this, then our durability is going to show. And instead of having just 59, we now have 131 durability. And not only do we have more durability, but our tools mine faster. To put this into perspective, mining a log takes 3 seconds with the hand, 1.5 seconds with a wooden tool, and 0.75 seconds with a stone pickaxe, or stone axe. So that just goes to show that upgrading our tools is going to make collecting resources so much faster. It does feel a slight bit faster, but according to the wiki, my numbers are accurate. The next thing that we are going to look at is building our first structure. Now that we've got ourselves some resources, we can get ourselves a bit of a shelter, because if we were to change the difficulty from peaceful to easy, then we are going to get mobs spawning at night. And the sun is already going down, and all we're going to do is build ourselves a nice little box. So I'm going to change all of those 2 planks by holding the shift button, and all we're going to do is build ourselves a structure. Now I like a bit of a big structure, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it 7 along. And if you're building in Minecraft, building on odd numbers is the way to go. So I'm going to go 7, and then I'm going to start bringing out a wall on the 8th block, and on over this side I'm going to do the exact same thing on the 9th block. So it's 9 wide, and I'm going to go, I want an interior of 5, so I'm going to bring this across by 7, and then I'm just going to bring this across like so. And that's going to give us our little shape. And I obviously want a door in here, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this out. Now, it's getting night, so we're going to build this up. And all I'm doing is going to build this up by 5 blocks. That is it. So let me get that done. Well, we've brought this up 5 blocks, and I wanted to teach you one more button command to make building so much easier. Now, if I look at my up bar, I can see that I actually have no more oak planks in here. But if I look in my inventory, I do have 2 stacks, or nearly 2 stacks of oak planks. Now, there is a way to very easily move them from our inventory to our hotbar without even needing to open up that screen. All we have to do is look at the block that we want, in this case the oak planks, and if we have it in our inventory and we press in the middle mouse button, the scroll wheel, it's going to grab that from our inventory and put it in our hotbar. Now we do have to have these blocks on us to be able to do that, but it makes just placing them down a little bit easier. And then what we're going to do now that we've got this done, we are going to put in place our roof like so. Now this is going to make things a little bit dark on the inside. As you can see, we're now quite dark on here. Now that we are on the easy difficulty, we are going to start to face mobs. And if we pop out here, you can already see that there's a zombie over there. Is there any others nearby, or are we safe? There's a creeper over there, which we want to stay far away from them. We are not ready to deal with mobs just yet. Even though we have a sword, we still want to make sure that we are clear of them. And we need a safe structure, which is why we've built our first starter house. But the trouble is, mobs will spawn when the light level is low in Minecraft, which means they can spawn in here. Now, we are safe from mob spawning right on top of us because Minecraft doesn't spawn mobs that close to the player. But I'm going to cover mobs in a separate episode. This episode, what we want to do is make sure that they don't spawn in here when we were to go far away. If we were to go over there and come back, there's a chance that mobs will spawn in our house, and we don't want that. So, let's start to deal with that. And the first thing that we want to do is make sure that mobs don't interfere with us while we do some more work inside. And for that, we're going to craft a brand new thing called a door. And a door is super easy to craft. You can see that we've got it available to us here. And all it is 6 oak planks in 2 vertical lines. And this again is shapeless, so it can go either way around. And that will get us 3 doors. And you could do this with all the different types of wood to get yourself different doors. We've got birch and oak available to us. And as you can see, we've got 2 different doors that we can use now. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the oak door and stick with the oak door. And what this will do is this will prevent mobs from coming in. We can use the door, but mobs cannot. And we can also see out of this door, so having the oak door is also beneficial in that. We could check to make sure that there are no mobs around us. Now, we want to deal with lighting in here. And there are a few ways in Minecraft that we can light up the interior. But the best way to do it in the early game is to use an item called torches. And if we look here, well, we don't have any torches available to us. Now, if you've got this unticked, it will show you here that we need sticks, charcoal, or coal to make it. Now, you may have found some coal while you was out mining, but if you haven't, like we haven't, I'm going to teach you how to make charcoal and how to do this in the early game. And this is going to lead us in to crafting a brand new item that we haven't crafted before. We're going to craft another useful interface called a furnace. And if we were to go into the crafting table, making sure that we've got our cobblestone available to us and cycle through here, you can see the furnace here. Now again, I'm going to click this. This will show me with the X here, this shows you all the recipes that you can craft that have something to do with the items that's in your inventory. So, because I've got leather, I can see the crafting recipe for leather horse armor, but I don't have enough leather to actually craft it, so it's not going to let me craft it. If I was to click this so that it shows a tick, this is now going to show me all the recipes that I can craft and have enough resources to craft them with. So the furnace is the one that we are going to look at, and the furnace requires cobblestone in a square pattern, filling up almost the entire crafting grid, leaving only the center block empty. And we are going to take that furnace out and we are going to plop it down. And then when we right click the furnace, we get ourselves an interface, and we even have this crafting book here, this recipe book that's going to show us what we can craft with the things in our inventory. Again, I'm going to click the X so that it shows us a tick here, and I want to look at charcoal. And if I click charcoal, it's going to put an oak log there and tell me that I need to smelt this down to make it. But if we were to come out of it, there's no lighting on the front and it's not working well because we need to fuel it. We need to provide it with fuel, and there are lots of different fuel in Minecraft, but we're going to look at the ones that are available to us. We can use saplings, which might be a good way to get rid of some of your unused saplings. We can use sticks, and that will again start smelting down and start smelting this down. But if we were to look at this arrow here, this is going to tell us how close this log is to smelting. As you can see, it's starting to decrease now. That means we didn't put enough fuel in to smelt this entire block. So if I was to take, say, a plank and put it in there, the plank will be more than enough to smelt this one block. Saplings are not a good fuel source. Sticks are not a good fuel source. A plank is much more efficient in the early game. But again, if I have, say, 16 saplings and I'm not going to use these for anything, I may as well just throw them in there and let stuff smelt down. But now that we've smelt that log down, it has turned into a charcoal, and I'm just going to pull this out the same way that we interact with the crafting grid, with just the left click. We could also use a shift and left click to move an entire stack, and usually you can just shift and left click certain things in here and they'll go into the correct places. Sometimes they don't, depending on what you're smelting, because we can use logs for both fuel and a smeltable object. Now, if an object is not smeltable, for example gravel, if I was to take gravel and put it in there and put myself some planks in, flame is going to stay lit because we've got a plank burning, but this arrow is not going to move. But once that plank that we originally started burning gets stopped, it's not going to start burning anymore because this isn't a smeltable object. Now, in my opinion, the most commonly used fuel is coal, but we don't have coal, but we can use charcoal if we so wish. Now, one plank will smelt one object, like so. However, one charcoal will smelt 8 objects. So charcoal is much more efficient, because if we were to take one birch log and convert that into planks, we'd get 4 planks, and that would allow us to smelt 4 items. However, if we were to smelt the log first, we'd get 1 charcoal, and that would allow us to smelt 8 items. However, if we were to put, say, this raw beef in here, which we can do to make ourselves some food, you can cook any meat. Once it's cooked these 4, that charcoal is gone, and this flame will still be half lit. And it's going to burn away the rest of that because we don't have anything else to burn. However, if we were to put in more charcoal, it won't start consuming any more charcoal, but we will lose half of that first charcoal that we put in. It's going to use it all, which is unfortunate, so make sure you have enough in here for what fuel source you are using. Later on in the game, when we are swimming in coal, we will not need to worry too much about this, but in the early game, it may be wise to use planks as opposed to charcoal if you're just smelting up a couple of items. Now, back to dealing with our dark room. As you can see, the furnace is actually lighting up, and it is providing a light source, and it will continue to provide a light source so long as it burns. However, keeping this thing running is going to be expensive in the early game, and it's not really worth it when we've got a much easier way to light up this area. And that is by using a torch. Now, torches, we already looked at the crafting recipe. It was a stick and a piece of charcoal or coal. We have charcoal, and we can go ahead and craft that up. And 1 stick and 1 charcoal makes us 4 torches. So we can go ahead and take our torches and place them around the area like so. And that should be enough to light up the area. But if you're unsure, we can press the F3 button. And if we were to look over here to the left where it says, if we look at the left middle menu, we've got the XYZ, the block, the chunk, the facing, the client light, the server light. And what we are looking at is the client light and the server light. And what they tell us is the sky block and the block itself. Now we're looking at the block. We're looking at the number before the block. That 10 means that mobs cannot spawn. For mobs to spawn, that block needs to fall below 7 or be 7 or below. Because we've got that block over 10, they are not going to spawn. Now the sky block means that what this block is with the sky. So if we were to look outside, we've got the sky, we've got the sun, and it's making this block 15. However, naturally this block is 4. So once the sky starts to grow dark and the sun goes down, this block will no longer be the 15 it currently is. It will actually be 4, and mobs will be able to spawn on it. So just keep that in mind. When we're inside, we don't need to worry about the sky block because the inside cannot see the sky. It can only see what's available to it here, which is these wooden planks. And we've got torches keeping this lit up. So the last thing that I want to look at in this episode is what to do when our inventory is full. We're getting a lot of items within our inventory, and sooner rather than later this is going to fill up. And with all these different blocks that we're using, it's going to fill up quite quickly. Well, we need to look at how to store these. There is another item and another interface that we can use called a chest. And the chest isn't available to us here because we can't craft it in the 2x2 grid. But if we right click the crafting table, we can see the chest here. And chests are rather amusing in Minecraft. So we can left click to put the items here, and just like the furnace was with cobblestone all around the outside in a square pattern, leaving the middle one empty, the chest is the exact same but with wooden planks. Any wood will do. You can mix and match wood, and we're going to pull this out. So now that we've got the chest, we can right click to place this in the world. And if we right click the chest, it is going to open up and show us what is inside. And now we can store our items in here by either dragging them in with the left click or holding the shift button and clicking them in like so. And we can empty out our inventory, so we've got all of these free slots to go ahead and mine with. I mean, look at all the activities we can do now. We've got all this space. But again, this is starting to fill up rather quickly, and we can put another chest down on top if we like, or at the side. Now, if we were to put one down at the side, it is going to join to that chest and allow us to have a larger chest, to make a double chest. Now, the correct tool for mining a chest is the axe, so we're going to go ahead and mine that axe. And out of curiosity, the correct tool for mining the furnace is the pickaxe. But if we were to look at this chest now, and I'm just going to, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to pick up the crafting table just to show you this. If I put another chest down at the side of this, it's actually going to start a separate chest. You can only merge 2 chests, you can't merge any more. Now, one thing to note is if I was to try and place this chest while looking at the chest and right clicking, it's going to actually interact with the large chest. And that could be kind of annoying, especially if you're trying to place a chest next to a chest. And we can solve this. So if we were to hold the shift button and right click next to this chest, it is going to place the chest right down next to it. And that is how we can do that. And we can do that with anything. So if we were to hold the shift button while looking at the furnace, ordinarily if we weren't holding the shift button and we right click the furnace, it opens up the interface. But if we hold the shift button, it goes to the next possible use of that right click, and that is to place a block down. So now we've got this. So we've got our chest, we've got our furnace, we've got our crafting table, and we are all set for the next episode. So in the next episode, we are going to look at how to skip the night. We've been surviving the night so far by either playing on peaceful or by hiding inside our little house while the night time goes by. But the trouble is, the nighttime is 10 minutes long, and that's a lot of time that we are wasting not really doing much. So what we're going to do is we're going to look in the next episode at how we can sleep through the night, how we can skip it. We're also going to look at how we can overhaul our little starter house to make it look at least a little bit better given the resources that we've got. So just a real quick message about this tutorial series. I am going to be mixing and matching both advancing through the game as well as learning to build in the game together to create a unique tutorial experience. Now, I myself am going to be playing along with you in survival. I am not going to be using creative mode in the slightest to give myself the items. I enjoy gathering them. I find it fun, and I want you guys to connect with this world like I am. And I feel that doing it in creative between episodes, just giving myself the items, takes away from that experience. And so I definitely want to keep this experience legit. So everything that I am asking you guys to do, I am going to be doing along with you. Well guys, that is everything for this episode. We've looked at how to set up your first house, how to craft a furnace, how to craft a chest, and how to upgrade our tools. In the next episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to replenish hunger bars, how to hunt and kill wild animals, and how to improve on what we've already built. Because right now we just have this blocky structure, and I think it'd be interesting to improve on that. And lastly, I'll teach you how to sleep through the night so that you don't have to wait it out in your little hut. But just one little thing that you can do to make the experience of the night more enjoyable while playing is that little staircase we started in the last episode. Go ahead and build one down to stone so you can get yourself some stone tools. So go ahead and get yourself a few more stacks of cobblestone. Shall we say 4 stacks of cobblestone and 2 stacks of oak logs. So it shouldn't be too much. So go and have some fun with everything that you've learned in this episode. And I just want to take this moment to say thank you again for all the support on episode 0 on how to get Minecraft. We've had over 140 views on that video now, and that really keeps me inspired to do more. I haven't released the first episode where I teach you guys how to craft basic tools yet, but I'm hoping that you receive that well as well. But guys, that is going to do it for this episode. If you've enjoyed the video, please do consider leaving a like. It really helps out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So please do leave that like and click subscribe if you want to see more from me. Guys, I'm Casey, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.